based on the current conflict in the Middle East, namely Iran and the United States and Israel. Please be advised that this force in Iran, I think it's a coalition of leaders now because the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, passed away, and they have like a like a few people calling the shots. Chief among them is one of the military guy, and he's saying that he doesn't want to talk, he doesn't want to negotiate, and Trump is the cause of all this chaos in the region, and they are planning to retaliate with maximum force and maximum destruction. And seems like they're not only attacking military facilities, but these people are also attacking um, civilians as well. So a lot of us from the states like to travel to Dubai, the Middle East, just for vacation purposes and just to have a good time. But please be advised, you're warned that this is serious. This guy said he doesn't want to talk and he doesn't want to negotiate anything, and he want to avenge the killing of the Ayatollah. And yeah, so please be advised that they might attack civilian population as well, especially if you're from the States and they know you're from the States. You are a target. So I advise anyone in the Middle East, anyone in Dubai, anyone in Saudi Arabia, and the surrounding countries within that region, please get out as soon as possible. Please get out as soon as possible. Yes, Hamas is targeting. Hamas is active and they looking for blood. Please be advised, get out as soon as possible. Get out as soon as possible. But other things going on in this conflict is that we have some American casualties, servicemen casualties, and I think it was 3 to 4 people died. Military personnel died, and also we have some military equipment. We lost some military equipment. I think it was 2 F-15 fighters, but according to what I'm hearing, it wasn't like enemy fire that took down these jets. It was I guess it was an accident, and it was all self-inflicted. It was an accident, and yeah, and that was in Kuwait. But personally, I think all this could be avoided. All this conflict could be avoided to some extent. Um, Years and years and years of negotiation. Remember with Obama and everybody, negotiated with Iran to for them not to have any nuclear weapon. And according to sources, they were enriching uranium at a massive scale. And when a country do that, they're trying to achieve nuclear weapon technology. And but I don't know, guys. This is serious though, because this guy is saying he doesn't want to negotiate either. So I guess I don't know. I don't know. This is really serious though. But one thing though, like Trump or hate Trump, this guy is serious. Trump said what he said back then, and he was given the Ayatollah chances upon chances, and he was trying to negotiate in good faith. Trump was trying to negotiate in good faith, and I think the straw that broke the camel's back was when the protest and stuff was happening in Iran because of food prices and the inflation and stuff like that. And then the supreme leader and all the other um, leaders of the country were executing protesters. They were executing protesters. I saw the news where there was a 21-year-old man. I think he started the whole protest, and he was scheduled to be executed and hanged. I'm not sure if it happened or not, but he was basically saying that he rather give up his life for the freedom of his people than to be in a oppressive regime. And and also what really touches me too was, like, I saw this married couple, and they spend their honeymoon writing like a little note or a book, just to say that, listen, um, we are going to join this protest, and we're going to do things that is against the regime, and we know that we're probably not going to make it, and we're probably going to die as a newly wedded couple. So that really touches me, man. That really touches me, because, like, you know when you look at it, and a lot of us here in America saying that we are living in a dictatorship, and we are living in under fear, and we are living because of this new president, and he's a dictator, and he's this and he's that, but we don't really understand the scope of the word. And it's like really shameful, and it's really like a spit in those people's face to be saying that we in America here are living under a dictatorship, while the real dictatorship system in Iran, where people are being executed just to have a difference of opinion, is rampant. And we here sitting down, living in the country of the land of the free and the home of the brave, and saying that we are living in a dictatorship system. It is just a spit in those people's face, and we should stop trying to use words and water down words just to fit our narrative. If we're against something, we're just against something, but we can't be saying that we're living in a system where in a dictatorship system, and we're not, because you know I don't see anyone being executed just for their opinion. I don't see anyone. I don't see any females here can't wear certain dress, or can't wear certain things, or you can't listen to certain music, or whatever the case might be in a dictatorship system. But yeah, it was just in those people's faces, just to say, just to come on here and be saying that. But this war, though, is crazy. This war is crazy. I I I hope it doesn't turn into a uh, Iraq situation, where we occupied Iraq for years and years and years, and I hope to God that we don't put any boots on the ground over there in Iran. And some of our military leaders here in the States are saying that they don't forecast this thing, operation, or this mission, passing 4 to 6 weeks. So I hope that you know that doesn't happen, because the Ayatollah still have his stronghold in the country, even though a lot of people are, like, celebrating his death. A lot of people are joyful, and a lot of people are, like, really, really happy that he's no longer the supreme leader or the leader of the country, but he still has his stronghold in the country, and he still has his power vacuums, and he still has people who really want to take over and lead in a similar manner or in a similar fashion that the Ayatollah was leading in, just to really inflict fear in the population there, and, like, really hold them in place under fear, and using fear to really hold them in place and guide people. So yeah, this is serious, guys. So, but one thing I really, really am pressing on is that please be very, very cautious if you're in the area, if you're over there in, you know, Dubai, Oman, Saudi Arabia, even in Israel, if you're in Israel. Just be careful, guys, as an American citizen, because they're looking for blood. They're looking for blood. They don't want to negotiate as of now. It could change in any minute now, after they really see that the overwhelming force of the American war machine is to great or too powerful to contend with, they might revisit the drawing board and we want to negotiate and really want to settle this conflict and and move on and stuff like that. But like as I said yesterday in my first live, I really wish that they had captured this guy and they didn't kill him. But capturing and going into Iran, into Tehran, in enemy's territory, and really take this guy out and capture him, just like how um, the Delta Force did with Maduro. I think it's a suicide mission. Um, Listen, I'm not underestimating the America's Delta Force. I think Delta Force could have done it, but yet again, I don't think that Trump wanted to do that. I think they wanted to take him out. That's what I think they wanted to do. I think they wanted to take him out. So that's what they acted up on, and I think Israel didn't want him to be captured or imprisoned either. Israel really wanted to take him out. So I think, you know, that's what happened. Otherwise, what's going on here in the States? The market was down crazy in the pre-market this morning, but as of now, the Dow and the S&P has rebounded. Oil was up a few percentage, but I think it has rebounded. Oil prices have like stabilized to a certain extent. I'm not sure what's going to happen this evening or on or whatever it is. But this goes to show because the market has rebounded. This goes to show that this is a more of a controlled chaos. It's more of a controlled. I think it's a more of a controlled war, and the Strait of Hormuz is uh, I think the northern side is controlled by Iran, and the southern side is controlled by I'm not sure which countries there right there. So they're not only ones control the strait. So I think traders are looking at the fact that you know oil can still flow between at the lower part of the southern part of the strait and so on and so forth. And again, remember, we are now getting a lot of oil supply coming out of Venezuela. And remember too that it's not like one point in time when um, America is it's not like one point in time when America wasn't producing oil at a large scale. Now we're a top producer of oil and also natural gas. So yeah, we are, so the supply shock from the Middle East is gonna be there, no doubt. But like, we have suppliers here in America that can really make up for that and really, and now our newfound friend, as our president would say, Venezuela is now giving us massive amount of oil. So I think the supply shock and the supply constraint that people was anticipating is not really there to a certain extent. But you know, when war happens in the Middle East, oil prices always spike, and prices of oil always go up for a temporary period of time. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think gonna happen um after this few days? Because now it's the third day, right? Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, right? So it's like 50 plus hours into the war, into this conflict right now. I think the administration is not calling it a war; they're calling it an operation. So this is like the third day in. So what do you guys think is gonna happen? You think that newly founded leadership in Iran is gonna come to the table and negotiate a deal, or they're still gonna play hardball and try to like avenge and get blood for blood? And I don't know, but I think that this is serious, and I think that they might really go after civilians and, not only attack military and American military bases, but they got probably trying to attack civilians as well. So I'm definitely appealing to anyone within that region to really take heed and really protect yourself and really look what's going on and stay out of the way. And if you can really make it back home to American soil, you should do so in a speedy fashion, just to get out of the heat. That area is very hot. Just to get out of the heat, I think you guys should do that if you're in the area. And also, we might see a wave of domestic terrorism, as I said yesterday, because not everyone, not everyone here agrees with with what's going on with the administration and what they're doing in Iran and what they have done with with conflicts and stuff like that. And again, it is known that there are also Iranian intelligence here in America, and they could be planning something. And guys, there's always a possibility. There's always a possibility. I have no concrete evidence or no concrete proof that this might be happening, but there's always a possibility. So what I'm doing here in the States, I'm always looking out. I'm always being attentive. I'm always being, you know, try to stay away from mass gathering and mass crowds and stuff like that. And especially now that the government is not funded to 100%. Department of Homeland Security is not funded 100%. So there's always a possibility of things, you know, slipping through the cracks and going through because of this government malfunction here in the States too, and what's going on. So I'm telling you guys, you just gotta be very, very careful with what's going on, and yeah, and but back to the war. The way how they execute this thing was genius, man. As I said before, the American military might is a force to be reckoned with, and I think we have the greatest, the most powerful, and the most advanced military capabilities in the world. No doubt about it. Like the way how they carry out the strike was phenomenal. It was a surprise in broad daylight. Everything was precision. Everything was Our space force played a part in this thing. Our space force and our cyber force played a very huge part in this thing. So what I'm understanding is that the space force, they use a satellite and infrared and laser and stuff like that to fry the Iranian systems from space, and they they feed them like wrong information, and like, brother, this was crazy just thinking about the scope and thinking about everything that really transpired and how they were able to blind Iranian radar system over that period of time for the Israeli to really strike that building that the supreme leader was in is beyond. I just can't imagine how they did that. And just so you guys know that the Iranian defense air defense system, they get most of their air defense system from China and Russia. And don't get me wrong, China is advanced in air defense. China is advanced in air defense systems, and China is advanced in military systems too. But I'm telling you that, like, man, them China system couldn't stand up to the power of the American systems and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I would like to say, guys, to just be careful again and again and again. It was just crazy how. this just happened, But I'm not gonna be in here too long, guys. It's your boy Jermane'S views. I just giving my views on what's going on. So please remember like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so we could have a chat and we could chop this up sometimes and share our views on what's going on in the world. I do a lot of videos, travel, fragrances, and you know, I just basically share my views and everything. That's why the channel is called Jermaine Views. These are my views. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Have a blessed Monday. Peace, guys. All right.